Hi, I'm here with Trudy Stoelting, and I'm Jim Penry. We're gonna talk about a little bit of Trudy's experience over the years, and she's been a dear friend of mine for over 2 decades, and a fellow Sunrider. So Trudy, you and I met years ago. I remember hearing about you, and I just heard that there was a woman that had a lot of health problems, and that she was doing good. And then at one of my meetings, there was a woman that was laughing and very joyous in the back corner. And I was looking back and it's like, who is that back there? And that's where we first met. And we've been good friends ever since. So when was that?
It was about 22 and a half years ago, 1996, Jim.
You were quite ill with lupus and fibromyalgia, and you were at the point where you were dying. And you had tried a lot of things. Doctor had sent you home to get your affairs in order, and then another distributor who knew you well from church had heard you, praying, and she had been pestering you a little bit.
Oh, she had been pestering me a lot, actually. I bless Karen to this day for not giving up. When you have a good friend, they just hang in there, I'll tell you. She actually approached me 3 times with the Sunrider foods, the nutritional foods. And she goes, Trudy, you're dying anyway. What have you got to lose? And when she said that statement, it really caught my attention. But it was the 3rd time that she had tried to help me, right? And finally, I just thought, I'm going to get her out of my hair. I'm just going to say, okay, I'll try it. Because I thought, well, then she'll quit bugging me, right? So, Jim, it was pretty amazing. I was in bed, like you said, at least 20 hours out of 24. And the other 4 that I was able to get up and move around and stuff like that, like I was really dizzy. So it was difficult to walk, very difficult to walk. I needed help walking. And it wasn't, no quality of life whatsoever. So, like you said, I had already tried a naturopathic doctors, acupuncture, reflexology, applied kinesiology, doctors, specialists, internists, and they all did the best they could for me, and I could feel a little bit, something a little bit better, but it never lasted. And so I thought, what is she, this is a housewife, pardon me, but that's what, Karen was at home with her children. And I thought, what does she know compared to all the specialists I'd seen and everything else? So I really I had about this much hope that there was anything that would help me. Over the years, literally a 10-year period where my health really had declined drastically to the point where I really was checking out. I tried everything you could think of. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars. I spent tens of thousands of dollars, Jim, trying to get well. Because you go to the health food store and they'd say, well, try this or try that. And it was literally, I was trying everything I could think of it. And I would stay with it pretty faithful for a couple months and nothing, just nothing. It wasn't working. So there's Karen, bless her. Oh my gosh. To this day, I'm so grateful to God for her. She didn't give up on me. And she said a couple things that really made a difference. She said, well, you've tried all the drugs and the medicines and the, isolates and the vitamins and everything you could think of. But have you tried food? And I was kind of angry. And I said, of course I've tried food. I said, we grow organic, we do all this work and we do all these things. And she goes, what about Chinese food? And I went, well, I like Chinese food. And I was thinking, chow mein and that kind of stuff. And then she goes, well, you know what? Dr. Chen, the owner of Sunrider, is just an absolute genius. And he's got these ancient formulas of foods that have been eaten century after century after century by people to maintain their health and to keep really vibrant health and for longevity, to live to a very old age and be healthy. And I thought, well, that's, and we had quite a good conversation. And I said, well, yeah, I'll try those. And the rest is history. She started me on the very basics, just, quinary every single day, or some people call it quinary. I call it quinary. I think it's a Canadian thing. And New Plus. And she gave me a bag of Cali, and she gave me a package of Fortune Delight. And I didn't care for the Cali at all, but the Fortune Delight, oh my goodness. And she told me to make it really, really weak. So I made it really, really weak. And I started drinking like that 12 coffee maker worth of Fortune Delight every single day. And it really made a difference. But the thing that really made the difference was the New Plus. For some reason, I think my body was so starving for nutrition that it took that New Plus and just kind of sucked it in. And I felt so good when I was eating it. So I ate a lot of it. I ate, we used to get it in a great big tub, right? Remember those tub containers, Jim? It had a scoop in it. And I used to sometimes eat, like I had trouble digesting any other food. So sometimes I'd eat 8 scoops of New Plus in a day. Mm-hmm. And the regeneration in my body was just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I sent my hair away for a vitality analysis. Oh my gosh, I got that back, and it was so easy to follow. It's they looked at what my body needed, and they tested it against my hair and my hair sample that I'd sent in, and they set out a program for me, and I was totally focused and really, really faithful to that program. I didn't cheat. I ate the foods, the Sunrider foods that they recommended on there, all of them. If they said you could have them once a day, I thought, no, I'm just not well enough to have them just once a day. I would have the maximum. If they said 1 to 3, I would have 3. Right? And I just stuck with it. I really, really stuck with it. I also did the 150 regular table foods. And it came back and, sort of specific things that I was having difficulty digesting at that time. And it would come back as a negative for those items. And I just left them off my food plate. And so by eating the foods that my body really could assimilate and digest at that time, and the support of the Sunrider foods, I just came alive. Like I really, really came alive. And that's when you saw me sitting in the back of your meetings. I had already been eating Sunrider for about 6 months, I think, when I ate you, and when I met you, rather, Jim. And
I didn't think you ate me. I wasn't missing anything.
I
didn't have any bite marks out of my body that I.
No. But when I first went to your meeting, and it was wonderful to have my health back. It was so exciting, and I felt so happy. And I've never looked back. I will never go back to where I was. If I have any choice in this life at all, I will never go without the Sunrider nutrition.